Hello, so classes. We're going to talk about classes in this one. So why do we use classes? When do we use them? What are classes? How do we use classes? Who uses the classes? Who uses classes? Okay, let's go straight to the code. The code right here. It's very good code. So we're going to make a dog class to be a little bit illustrative here. Now, I think I do want to explain though, like, what is a class used for? So when you're writing like big code bases, right, there's a lot of complexity, and sometimes we find it very tricky to just keep track of all the complexity in our code bases. And so what we do is we package concepts together, and the packaging, right, it can be functions, it can be structs or whatever, or classes. Classes is a way of packaging things together. And so classes, you can put like little properties or variables, and you can associate methods and functions with them. So like just variables and functions. That's a class. That's a class. So let's go back to the code. Yeah, and we're gonna make a simple dog class here. So let's do it. Let's go for it. So let's take this one, copy that, and let's just type it out. So how do you initiate a class? Class :dog, and then we're gonna make an init method to start off the class, and we're gonna put some class attributes and then also some properties of the class. So let's just, like, what's going on here? So you've got this count. Let's just leave that for now. We'll go through it. Next, you've got an init method here, right? And we're putting in name and age. So we're saying, okay, assign name to this self.name, this mysterious self thing, and this mysterious self.age, right? So what this is saying is, this is like a property, a class variable here. So what we can do is, if we make a dog, we call it D1, call it buddy, and then we say, okay, I want to get the name of D1, right? Now we'll just go to the terminal, Python, now call this file class basics. We run it and we get the name of buddy. So it sort of stores information in the class, this self thing. And the self, like, you'll see later that if you put it sort of as the first variable here, you can have access to all the stored variables later in the class. And the counts. Oh, this is weird. Am I on caps lock? No. Okay, cool. So the count, what that is used for is, you have this concept of a dog. So the self sort of is related to instances of the dog. So D1 is an instance of the class dog, to be more precise about it. And then the class attributes, which is the underscore count, is about the whole concept of a dog. So what it's saying is, every time we initialize a dog, increase the count of how many dogs there are by 1. So for example, let's make D2. Let's just call it D, right? And then we call it max, and then we say, okay, how many dogs are there? Print dog. So notice it's uppercase dog, right? It's not D or D1, right? So we run that, and it's 2. That's cool. So okay, next let's make some methods. So in a class, you also have methods, so functions. So we have variables, which is like all the self stuff, and we also have methods. So we can make a bark method. Now I'm using AI here, right? Now what I suggest you do is you just watch the video, watch it once, watch it all the way to the end, sit back, relax, and enjoy my soothing voice. I don't know if it's soothing or not, but and then go back and type it out. Just pause the video, type it out, and then you'll get maximum learning from that. Okay, cool. So we make this method here, and it's just a bark method. So, and the way you call it is, you can just go d1.bark, which is really easy. Cool. And maybe I'll just get rid of this, get rid of that. Yep. And so if we go to the terminal, we run it. And to run it, I'm just typing in Python, Python plus, just, yeah, that. I'm just hitting the up arrow here because I've run it so many times when I'm rehearsing for the video. Anyway, I hope this goes well because this is actually the third time I'm recording it. I'm still trying to work out how OBS works. That's a Steve problem. That's on me. I need to improve my educator game. Okay, so what are we gonna do next? So we're gonna talk about class methods. So class methods are to do with like class attributes. So we're doing stuff to all the class attributes. So we can make a how many we can make. Okay, no, actually let's do the class attribute. So the class method, so we can do a how many method. So this will return the count of the dog. So it's the same as what we had before. But it's just sort of putting everything into a function, which is good because you sort of separate the concepts here. Now, we could have said like underscore count here, but we're going to go how many because, you know, it sort of looks nicer and things like that. And we're separating concepts and, you know, putting everything in functions. And it's good because if we put everything in functions and classes, later on, if we want to build very robust code, we want to be able to test things. So you can just test individual functions. So let's just comment this out, run it, and it says, okay, 2 dogs have been created. Okay, cool. Now let's give a dog a birthday. A birthday it's going to increase the age of the dog. So here we're increasing the age of the dog. Now because we pass in self as the first argument here, we get access to all this good stuff, which is great. It's like we stored the name, we stored the age, and then in functions later we can modify things. So let's see what happens, right? So let's just print. So let's just say like A1. Like A1 is, you know, I know, like let's just say the age. It's probably easier to do it like this. So we're going to go print. I want to print the age of the dog, for D1, right? D1, just dot age, easy peasy. Yeah, right? Now, so we should just get 3, right? It's 3 years old. We initiated it with 3 years old. Now let's give D1 a birthday, right? We call the birthday function. So it has a birthday. Happy birthday to the dog. That's awesome. And now let's print the new age. Let's print the age, right? It should go up by 1. There you go. Happy birthday to the dog. It went from 3 to 4. So that's pretty cool. Okay, cool. Now let's move on to static method. So static method is used for utility functions. Now it's sort of like you don't need to pass in self here, but there's sort of maybe like some sort of utility thing. So for example, oh, messed that up. So let's just say speak, I guess. So yeah, it doesn't have access to the class or the self there, and this is just a generic thing related to dogs. Maybe like maybe instead of speak, let's just say attack, attach. How do you spell attack? I'm really bad at spelling, by the way. I'm good at coding, bad at spelling. And then and we can just say the dog attacks. Attack. It's like attack initiated. And now this is more to do with like just the concept of a dog, right? So like it's just maybe you have a dog and then it can attack, but you also have this we're gonna say the concept of the dog attacks, right? It's like you just, because you have some dogs, you're intimidating people. So how it works is I think this is a fairly I don't want to swear actually. I'm just gonna because I'm trying to be nice, but just be like dog. So how you call it is just attack, and it would attack like that. Yeah. So I guess that is static methods. There's like it's just not. It's sort of like related but not related. But you don't need any of that stuff in the class, right? Oh, what about we could say I don't know, like what else, like dogs are cool. Like I'm not like, a cat versus dog person, but we can make another static method. It was like you could just say like def are dogs cool? Are they cool? Are they? Are they? I don't know. I don't know. And let's just say it doesn't return. It returns none, but it prints something. It prints something here. So if you say we just say print. Dogs are cool. Dogs are very cool, right? So it's not about one single dog. It's more about the whole concepts. Yeah, the whole concept of a dog, right? And that's why it's sort of a static method, right? It doesn't have anything to do with the variables stored in each of the dog. And so we can just go, our dog's cool. And it looks like let's see what we get. We get a none. What happened there? Why do we get a none? Interesting. Interesting. You want it to be printed. Dogs are cool, and we get this none. Let's get this none. Dogs are cool. Unless it's like a interesting. We get none. Printing everything correctly. Oh yeah, I guess it just returns none. Anyway, that is. Let's do that. Do that. Can you just do that? Oh, yep. So it prints the like memory address of the function, but it returns none. I guess it. Yeah, that's interesting. It returns. I guess what's returned here is none. So it prints none. So like, it prints the result of this, right? I mean, if you really wanted to fix this, you could just return a string. Actually, that would yeah. You just return the string, and then it'll print the string, right? Yeah, cool. So that's what I wanted. Okay, last thing. Just these sort of inbuilt Python methods. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make we're gonna say, okay, say I want to do something like this. Print D1. Print D1. So what Python does is when it prints big objects, so maybe I'll get rid of that. When it prints objects, it needs to convert it somehow to a string, and then it'll print it. So let's see what it does. Right? It gives you this weird address thing. It says this is like sort of where this dog variable is stored in memory, and I guess that's the default. So what we can do, we can sort of override this, right? Which is the string method. So what's actually going on is what is actually going on is print will see D1 as an object, and then it calls this here, calls the dot stir method, and then it'll print whatever string we get. But let's format it, make it a little bit friendly. So we'll just go def, yep, and we can just do this. So what we'll return is the name of the dog and the age of the dog. So we could say is the name of the dog, and then is that how old that is, and then we'll just print that. Yep, Buddy is 3 years old. Cool. So I think I'm going to end it there. That's a nice little intro to classes. Is that how long is the video going? Anyway, I think I'm going to end it right there. And yeah, no, actually, no. I was like, oh, can we do some more content? No, let's end it there, and then I'll continue releasing stuff. So this is part of my my course here. and I'm gonna make it free for everyone. And what it is I'm trying to make a trading system course, which I'm gonna open up to the public, but that's gonna be paid for. But you can get into the school for free right now, and then you'll have access to the trading systems course. But you got to get on it right now, because I'm gonna start charging money for that trading systems course. It is very valuable. Okay, that's enough. Enjoy making classes.